Imagine this. Over 20,000 women in Burkina Faso, mothers, grandmothers, students, traders, decided to put everything aside. They left their daily chores, closed their market stalls, stepped away from classrooms, and walked out of their fields. But instead of picking up weapons, they grabbed shovels, wheelbarrows, and bags of cement. They didn't do it for money or fame. They didn't expect medals or recognition. They did it because they love their country. This is not a scene from a movie or a story invented to inspire. This is happening right now, in the dusty heartlands of Burkina Faso, a revolution of hope and determination being led by the hands of women. Burkina Faso, a land known for its red earth and dry air, has long been written off by the world as one of the poorest and most forgotten nations. Stories of hardship and struggle have overshadowed the resilience and brilliance of its people. But something extraordinary is unfolding, something that breaks the usual narrative. Under the guidance of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, a young, fearless leader, the people are no longer waiting for outsiders to save them. They have taken destiny into their own hands, and women are at the center of this transformation. These women, whether they are teachers, traders, or farmers, have become the architects of a new Burkina Faso. They are building far more than just roads and buildings. They are rebuilding hope and dignity. They are constructing a future where their children can walk safely to school, where health clinics are accessible, and where villages are connected again after years of isolation due to violence and neglect. What's striking about this movement is that it is not powered by guns or political speeches. It's powered by the raw strength of ordinary women, by sweat and commitment, by the refusal to accept dependency. These women have shown up in staggering numbers, 20,000 and growing, volunteering their time and energy without a single paycheck. They work from dawn to dusk, mixing cement under the scorching sun, carrying heavy loads on their heads, digging trenches to prevent floods, and raising walls to protect schools. This is resistance at its purest, a rebellion not against people but against the cycle of poverty, corruption, and foreign dependency. Each handful of gravel laid on a road is a declaration that Burkina Faso will no longer wait for help from abroad. Every brick cemented into a clinic wall is a symbol of self-reliance. Every footpath cleared through the bush is a pathway back to sovereignty. Take Mariam Kabore from the province of Senyo. Under the burning sun, she carries heavy sacks of cement on her head with a smile and says, "I don't expect payment. My reward is knowing my children can go to school without fear." Then there's Aissata, a mother of 5, mixing concrete and uwahiguya, who insists, "This is our land. No one else will build it for us." Young student Fati boldly declares, "If it comes to it, our blood will mix with this cement." And 62-year-old grandmother Ibet, inspired by President Traoré's courage, says, "If he can risk his life for this country, we can give our time." This is not charity. It is not a government campaign stage for the cameras. It is the soul of a nation awakening, rising from decades of neglect and pillage. The irony is powerful. While international aid and foreign contractors spend millions building just a few kilometers of road, these women are building hundreds of kilometers with only basic tools and an abundance of heart. Because when you don't have to pay wages, every dollar goes straight into buying materials and equipment. It's not just cheaper, it's transformational. What this grassroots revolution teaches us is that development does not have to be expensive or foreign-led. When communities take charge, costs shrink and impact grows. What might cost billions in international aid is being done here with sweat equity and patriotism. And beyond the physical structures, this is a psychological victory. These women are breaking chains of dependency, reminding the world that Africa's strength comes from within, from belief and unity. Listen closely, and you can hear echoes from Burkina Faso's revolutionary past. The spirit of Thomas Sankara, the iconic leader from the 1980s, lives on. Sankara famously said that a true revolution cannot happen without women rising beside men. He envisioned a Burkina Faso that was self-sufficient, where people planted trees, vaccinated children, and built a future with their own hands. Though he was silenced by bullets, the seed he planted has never died. Today, That seed flourishes in the hands of thousands of women who may never have seen Sankara speak, but who live his dream with every brick they lay. Young girls who swap books for shovels after school. Nurses who tend to the sick in the morning, then pour concrete in the afternoon. Market women who sell onions by day and haul stones by night. Grandmothers who say, "We may be too old to fight with guns, but never too old to fight for our future." If these stories touch you, take a moment to honor the invisible revolutionaries shaping the future without cameras or headlines. And to our dedicated subscribers and supporters who keep this platform alive, your shares, comments, and super thanks fuel this voice that speaks Africa's truth, raw and unfiltered. So, what exactly are these women building? They are reconstructing rural roads that link once isolated villages like Noa, Bam, and Suduma. These roads reconnect people to markets, schools, and clinics. They are reopening paths blocked for years due to insecurity. They build protective walls around schools and community centers, create emergency shelters for families displaced by violence, and install drainage systems to prevent devastating floods. But it's more than just construction, it's education. Local engineers are teaching these women masonry, carpentry, and surveying skills. Women are teaching women. This is not just a physical rebuilding, but a revolution in knowledge and empowerment. Young boys and girls watch these women with admiration and respect. They no longer see victims, they see leaders. And let's be clear, these women aren't doing this for money or fame. They are building to reclaim their honor and rewrite their history. They know no foreign army or NGO will ever build Burkina Faso the way its own people can. If they don't build their schools and clinics, who else will? Already the results are astonishing. Over 350 kilometers of rural road have been built or repaired. More than 110 schools and health clinics are fortified against attack and weather. Thousands of displaced families have found shelter built by these women. Over 500 youth have been trained in construction skills, all without a single salary paid. This is the power of solidarity and sacrifice. President Traoré himself has visited many of these sites. He didn't bring cash, he brought gratitude. This country belongs to its people, he told the workers. Today, our mothers, sisters, and daughters remind us that our strength is not in what we receive, but in what we give. The government is now supporting these efforts, not with empty promises, but by providing tools, safety equipment, land titles, and business licenses. Ministries are encouraged to replicate this model, but don't expect international news outlets like CNN or BBC to cover this story. It doesn't fit their usual narrative of Africa as a continent of crisis and corruption. They want to show poverty and despair, not empowered women rebuilding their nation. But in Burkina Faso, they don't wait for foreign cameras to tell their story. They become their own storytellers. Some say, if a revolution isn't televised, did it even happen? These women don't need cameras to change their world. They are writing a new chapter of African history with their own hands and hearts. So I leave you with this question. If love for your country was the only requirement, and money was no barrier, what would you build? Would you pave the road to your grandmother's village? Would you build a school so your sister no longer walks miles to learn? Would you build a clinic so no child dies of preventable illness? The women of Burkina Faso are doing exactly that, right now, brick by brick, dream by dream, sweat by sweat. They don't wear capes or wield weapons. They wear headscarves and carry shovels. On their backs rests not just stones and cement, but the dignity and hope of an entire continent rising again.